Uh, Hello again, fellas.
Yeah, what's happening, brother?
That's good.
And today, have a real good topic for y'all. But first and foremost, is another Breaking the Narrative podcast, BTN for short. I'm here today with the amazing Lady Love, oh so real, Mark Anthony. And
Well, I'm gonna stop you right there because the LL thing, that's me.
really?
Yeah,
Really? All right,
He
bro.
said, like, you can have
Oh,
it, bro.
Ladies Love, Cool Ave.
yeah. So, see how he already knew that. That lets me know that he knew. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, got the receipts for it and everything.
Yeah, you got it,
There
my
is,
brother.
How bad? Marcus GQ. Yeah, that's
GQ.
Yeah.
It's the GQ is silent. Yeah, understandable.
Yeah. Spell Mark with a G and then Anthony with a Q. They're both silent.
Too much credit on it.
First and foremost, like let's talk about how clever that joke was when you mentioned it beforehand. That was a clever ass joke.
Thank you.
Even to this day, when I go back and listen to that podcast in general, it was hilarious.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem, bro. But let's get into the topic at hand. We're gonna be mentioning today. We're gonna talk about horror movies. All the ins and outs, the ups, the downs, everything there is to know about the horror movies, like what we liked, what we didn't like, what's going on nowadays versus back in the day. It doesn't matter. We touching on it. Pause. So, first and foremost, like, do you have a favorite horror movie, either one of y'all?
Not really, nah. I would prefer the old school movies now compared to the new ones, because it's a lot of new ones that just seem quite similar. Still going the same route, still got the same ambiance of things. I like where things was a little more weirder back then.
Okay. So you like more of a creative mindset than a clever jump scare.
Yeah. I definitely. Hey, you gotta get my mind racing on, like, just where was the person's mind. You're like, well, obviously it shows where the mindset was, but it's just like, how did you get there? Like, what was going on with you for you to think this up and all that? Nowadays it's just like, oh yeah, literally loud noises, jump scares, and screaming for no reason, and black silhouettes. That it just, horror movies to me just ain't what they used to be.
Okay. That's an understandable statement. So, Abe, what you got, man?
Yeah, I love Michael Myers.
Hey, okay, I'm not surprised there. I'm honestly not.
I do have to chime in with that one, though. I am a little bit excited for the new one that is coming out, like where they're going in a direction where they're supposedly bringing the whole town to take out Mike. I'm a little excited for that one. I definitely want to see how that's going to go.
Okay.
He's gonna beat the town.
And more than likely.
He doesn't lose.
He don't.
Yeah. I actually heard a joke about that, though. Like, there's like, if they're going to make another sequel and they don't take down Mike, what is it going to be? Michael Myers immortal?
Like,
Like,
think about it. He pretty much the Thanos.
He really is. I seen that joke, and somebody was like, if they don't get Michael Myers in this movie, the next movie I'm gonna have to step in. Like, that's what the person who posted this said. Yeah.
The Haddonfield Thanos, bro. That nigga ain't playing. Bro.
Yeah, a lot of those characters, I feel like they're just, you can beat them. You just gotta know how to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure about him, but because we've seen like movies where it's like Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of know what you got to do. Niggas just don't do it.
Yeah. Burn the doll.
Right. Right.
The doll continues to exist regardless of anything. It's just like, why don't you just get rid of the doll?
Yeah.
Like, they done melted the damn thing. Like, burned him alive. Like, he was an entire crisp and still walking around. Destroy the doll completely. Nothing exists after it.
Smithereens.
Yeah.
Dust.
Just like they did Cell in fucking Dragon Ball Z. Completely disintegrate the nigga. He don't exist no more.
Yeah. So, were you scared of like any of the horror movies when you were a kid?
Yeah, petrified.
Which one? All of them, or which ones?
All of them. It didn't matter what it was. I was one of those kids. I was scared of my own shadow damn near. I was scared of Jurassic Park
Okay.
because
A non-horror movie, by the way.
exactly.
But, yeah.
But when I grew up, I think it was like once I got to a teenager, it was like I couldn't get enough of horror movies after that.
Yeah.
So what about Jurassic Park that really terrified you? Like
Dinosaurs in general because they were scary.
Yeah. I did have moments where
I love dinosaurs.
I like dinosaurs, sure. I mean, as you know, cool, but just stay in an imaginary place for me, you know, because like as a kid when I seen Jurassic Park, it was just like pretty interesting, like cool, fucking dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's what
And it's amazing. And only Jurassic Park is gonna do it. But at the same time, when I go to sleep, I'm sitting there like, dog, if I hear the slightest rumbling, I used to have dreams, like literally, if I was to look out my bedroom window, that I see a fucking T-Rex, big ass eyeball looking at me through the window.
Yeah,
Like that shit, I was just like, nah, what the fuck am I gonna do if a dinosaur is just walking down the street? What are we gonna do?
Well, there's nothing you could do. Well, you could put that scenario for
I
any
literally
of them.
would have been
There's
like
nothing
them
you
type
could
of dudes that literally would just stand the fuck still and hope I didn't get seen.
I mean, if it's looking at your window,
Yeah,
it knows you're in there.
Yeah, I'm
gonna
standing still. I don't care.
I
I'm not moving.
First, I don't think a dinosaur would be that smart, but you know, if they were, yeah, it's nothing you can do. That's just a T-Rex, and they kind of got the short arms.
Well, yeah. I mean, at the
Listen,
time,
they can't
you
reach
know,
you.
as a kid, that's just what I thought. I was just like, I'm gonna just stand the fuck still and hope it doesn't see me. Hopefully, it doesn't smell me or whatever. I'm gonna literally just pause, like red light, green light. Just, I'm not moving.
No, yeah.
Now it's just like if I'm an adult, I probably still think about doing the same shit or just run as fast as I can.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're not outrunning the T-Rex. But
Yeah.
Hey, look, man, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna have to die trying.
no, that's not dying trying. That's dying being stupid. Like, you hide somewhere, like go in a basement or something. Just treat it like it's a tornado.
Well, look, hopefully they still continue to come out with some Jurassic Park movies because there have been some great ideas that came out, especially for the one where they first made the Indominus Rex.
Oh, you
That
talking
whole
about
shit with the
Jurassic
gasoline,
World?
yeah, pulling the gas line and shit like, yeah, who the fuck would have thought about that in a situation like that? But you know, that is smart. Yeah, just,
Yeah, it's pretty creative.
I mean, especially if they're doing shit like that. Like, all right, well, we're making a dinosaur that can do absolutely fucking everything, and it's smart as fuck, just as smart as you are. Yeah, I mean, it gives you a hope of a fighting chance. You don't know if it's actually gonna fucking work,
Right.
but it's giving you ideas to do something.
I get it.
Yeah, I definitely get that.
I just never. I love Jurassic Park, so I never was like scared.
I mean,
Nothing scared me about dinosaurs.
like I told you before, I was scared of my own shadow. As a
Right.
kid, so.
I get you. Yeah, nothing ever scared me. Like.
And then, yeah, I had my cousins used to lock us in the basement and, shit and turn off all the lights and then say that it's a monster down there. So
Okay.
it's shit like that. Like it sticks with you.
Kind of traumatizing.
It definitely.
Yeah.
So
I never got. I never. When it came to like certain horror people, like Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger, Jason, they were scary, but then a couple of other ones were like kind of offset that. Like when it came to Chucky, as vicious as Chucky was, to me he's just like a doll.
yeah, he's still a doll.
Right. And
They made fun of that in like parody movies.
yeah, and like him, like what kind of started to ruin horror for me was like him and the Leprechaun.
Well, at least he was magical and like, he kind of believable.
I get it, but it's like that's more comical than it is scary.
Yeah,
though.
Leprechaun was definitely fucking comical. I mean,
It was
the only
supposed
thing
to be
that got
though.
me was it was just gross as fuck. You know,
It depends
was
on
just-
which ones you're talking about.
Well,
What's
I
that?
can't remember which one it was, but like the one that really got me was when I watched this fucking woman in a dress just inflate and blow the fuck up. And I saw that as a kid. I was like, ew, what the fuck? Like,
Mm.
how, that's not supposed to happen. Like, ew. But other than that, it is just a comical thing. It's just a gross ass fucking movie.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff like that. Once I got older, I actually enjoyed the gore factor of film. And it's one thing to be really good with a storyline and all that stuff, but if you can incorporate gore correctly, then you're going to have a really good film. Because it's one thing to convey a message through story, but it's another thing to convey it through brutality.
Right.
And that's where I think stuff like Alien did really good because of the incorporation of the alien growing out of a person's chest.
Right.
That right there, that's clever gore. And it will send shivers up your spine because it's just like you don't want anything invasive inside of you. A parasite, that's the last thing you want. And you see stuff like that in like Cabin Fever.
Right,
Cabin
right,
Fever
right.
was one of those moments where it's just like, oh my God, like this is horrible. Why are they doing this? And it's scary. Well, not in the sense that like now. It's not.
I'm trying to think. As far as Cabin Fever or Cabin in the Woods, Cabin Fever was the one where they had the infection because of the water, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you better put me on a whole nother rant for this one, because the remake of that pissed me the fuck off.
Well, remakes tend to.
Yeah, I don't watch remakes like that.
But, like, just, all right, I get the whole, now, actually, the first one, of course, you know, the older ones and the original ones, of course, they do their job. And then that actually did get me, for a second, very cautious of my water. I was like, nah, bruh. Like, I literally was afraid to fucking drink water for a minute. But I was like, damn, nigga, these niggas gonna fucking kill me with dehydration now.
Dehydrated as shit, scared of that.
But the remake really pissed me the fuck off because, you know, I became, as I got older and certain things that stood out to me, and when I become more experienced with certain shit, I was like, bruh, like, this makes no fucking sense. Like, the remake, this dude literally started the whole shit because this nigga wanted to start shooting things because he had bought a new fucking AR that he didn't need to have and killed something, and I think it was a guy or whatever who just happened to be sick or whatever, and then next thing you know, just shit started taking off from there. I was just like, people was doing idiot shit in that remake. Like, I even showed my friend, and it pissed him off. I was like, I couldn't even mention that shit to him. Like, it literally was just like, nah, bro, like, don't mention that movie, that shit. No.
You try and stay away from remakes, honestly.
Yeah.
Not
this Michael Myers is they lucky. I'm gonna give this a review.
Yeah, like the one that Rob Zombie did for Halloween was good. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Well, Rob Zombie makes great shit. Like, my favorite one from him is fucking All American with American Rejects. Oh, is it American Rejects?
No.
Something.
The Devil's
Rejects. Yeah, the
Rejects.
Devil's Rejects. Yeah.
That's a spinoff of House of a Thousand Corpses.
Whichever the fuck it was, bro, it was good. Rob Zombie, great job to you, my guy, because that is definitely one of my favorite old school movies right there.
It's not even old school. It's like
well, look,
like
I call it old school because I watched it as a child, so it's old school for me.
It's gonna be old school now.
Yeah, I guess.
2021.
Yeah, that was definitely, you know, I was with that
Not
shit.
the old school, but it's starting to be old school.
And on top of that, I mean, especially for it to be horror comedic, it still did its thing. It was like, I don't know, it wasn't like an official horror movie for me. It was just a fucked up thing. Like, you just had fucked up people who just like to have a little fun in their own little fucked up way.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you really can classify that as horror. That's just murder to me, but I still enjoyed it.
Sounds like it's kind of relatable to you.
I mean, I'm not going around cutting people's faces off and putting it on their girlfriends, but
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't.
There's no problem. There's nothing wrong with being like I enjoy what's his face? Was that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Talking about
Leatherface.
Yeah, Leatherface.
Now,
Yeah.
do you
And
enjoy the original or?
I enjoy him. I felt like he was like very relatable, but that doesn't mean I'm, you know, not waving a chainsaw around screaming, you know what I'm saying, killing people and all that. But
Oh, you know that ending scene in Texas Chainsaw Massacre when he was like spinning the chainsaw around and doing somewhat of like a dance. You know, the person who was doing that on purpose just so he could get the cameraman to see how close he'd get to him.
oh yeah,
Like the chainsaw was real,
yeah, you could tell.
and he was just trying to figure out like how close the cameraman would actually get to him. He was just trying to back him away, just for fun. Like, he's doing this for fun.
Yeah, and that makes for good movies, especially for horror movies. When you catch off-scripted shit like that, literally, you know, genuine feelings and genuine reactions is definitely going to give you wins.
Yeah, I love Leatherface. He's like one of my favorites. Used to use him on Mortal Kombat and everything.
That part, I don't know. I mean,
The funny thing with Leatherface is, well, not funny, but the most messed up thing, Leatherface is a real person.
Most of them are just been through traumatizing situations.
like, are you saying like he's an actual real person, or are you saying the
The
personality?
Texas Chainsaw
or
Massacre
the
actually
idea?
happened.
Yeah, it's based on a true story.
Oh.
It happened, I think, in like the 60s.
I mean, I probably read that part or seen that part being mentioned in the movies, but at the same time, I don't pay attention that much. I'm just ready to get to the gore.
That's what I make it feel like the movie, it gives it that much more. Because you'd be like, damn, this really happened. You know,
if it says based off of a true story,
yeah,
that's just how I felt about the first Paranormal Activity.
yeah,
it was like, oh, based off a true story, and then not even just based off of it. It just looked like someone was just recording shit in their house,
right,
and then all of this crazy stuff started happening, and it just seemed so real. It's like the equivalent to the Blair Witch Project.
kinda.
When that came out, it's like camera. That's all it is. You know, that shit only cost them like $10,000, and they grossed over like $10 million or something like that.
There was a bunch of foolery though.
That definitely made me question a few things though.
Yeah, me too.
Like, you recording all this, if there really is a mishap where everybody's getting bodied, how the fuck are you gonna find this camera and just say, hey, yeah, I'm gonna put this out here for people to see? Like, what is the chances of that really happening? That somebody's just finding this shit?
Slim to none. But, especially over the chance that whoever's out there bodying everybody, he finds it or they. Excuse me.
Yeah, it's just like, I get it. All right, cool. People recording stuff and everything. You know, the however that had started, cool, it's fun. But at the same time, really, what is the chances of somebody, especially if it's recording and showing everybody getting bodied, that somebody's gonna find this?
Facts.
And just like put it out there.
Yeah, it's decent, but yeah,
that just gave me an idea.
And that kind of ruined the whole statement of this is based off of a true story. Is it really? I mean, it could be. And that's, I think that's what's getting people. They're worried, like, you know what? It's not too far fetched for it to never actually happen. But at the same time, is this really a true story?
I mean, it seems like somewhat unbelievable. However, it's not impossible.
That's the part that's getting me. Like, I think that's really what's selling it, is that people are like, oh, well, it's not impossible for this to happen. But what I'm watching right now, is this really a true story, or was this just thought
up? They don't say the whole thing is a true story too. So it could be bits and pieces that's true. Yeah. And then they add their own Hollywood. Mm-hmm. You know what they do.
Yeah, at its core, it's based on a true story with a little bit of added touch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I will believe if somebody was doing a documentary on a cult, of course, I'm going to believe that's true straight away more than anything, because cults are out here. Yes, they do happen. So I will believe that more than anything. Like, oh, yeah, well, we're going to talk about the devil and this, and then we're going to do a recording of all these crazy people. That I will believe.
Okay.
Firsthand. But
I mean, realistically, like that's a majority of horror movies.
Right.
But I think personally, for me, I enjoy psychological horror more than I do the blood and gore.
Like what?
Psychological horror meaning just the story itself is playing with your mind. It's like you don't know what's really happening until it hits you immediately, like midway or towards the end.
Oh, okay.
Like the whole thing is like a build-up. So there are movies like that, which technically aren't really horror if you want to put it into a certain aspect. It would be more of a psychological thriller.
Yeah. However,
I would say movies like Seven with Brad Pitt and I think it wasn't Morgan Freeman in it. Was Morgan Freeman in that?
I didn't see that. So,
but it was Brad Pitt. And it might have been Morgan Freeman, but there were moments in that where you're looking for the Zodiac killer, and technically the Zodiac killer was a real person, but they never found it.
Yeah, see, I don't like stuff like that. Soon as like if I go to the movies, soon as like the credits, the opening credits, soon as that finish, somebody gotta get killed. This is why I like Jason and Michael Myers. Like, as soon as I sit down with the popcorn, like, you gonna see Jason pull out the Lord Jump. You know what I'm saying? Severing somebody's head. Then I'm like, all right, bet, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
You
like,
see boobs and bodies flying.
Yeah, yeah. Because a lot of people in Jason movies, for some reason, everybody always seem to have a lot of sex in his movies.
Yeah,
like, yeah. Like, I just peeped that when you said that. Yeah, just peeped that when you said that.
Yeah, shit. Yeah. Even in Freddy vs. Jason, there was a whole lot of that.
Yeah,
because Jason's in it. Like that is his forte. You gotta have A whole bunch
You
of people
gotta have a naked woman in
like they
there
gotta be
somewhere.
fucking, bro. That's what they gotta do.
Like even Jason X had 2 naked women that was getting bodied in sleeping bags.
Yeah, because
like,
they know what sells with him.
Yeah.
Boobs and bodies flying.
Not just the. So how y'all feel about that movie?
So let me find out that Jason actually has a preference.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does technically.
Well,
But how y'all feel about the Jason versus Freddy thing?
I actually like the movie. I watched it numerous times.
Yeah.
I was excited for it. You know, again, the younger me was just like, fucking cool, 2 killers and this and this. And I definitely, because we've talked about this as kids. We was like, what if this, the whole what if thing, and it finally happened. You know,
It was good, but it wasn't like how you would think.
I mean,
they would pit 2
as
killers.
as far as scary and all that, no. Obviously, it wasn't scary. It was funny or whatever. It was something. It was just fun. It was for fun.
It was a good movie considering the 2 people that they picked to go against each other.
Mm-hmm.
But we know for sure they could have, like, they know over anything we would have wanted to see Jason versus like Michael Myers. Like, is that not a no-brainer?
Yeah, stuff like that is more realistic. But I like the way they incorporated both of them into their own separate worlds, though, and then bringing them together.
Yeah, that was tough.
I was gonna say that actually give it more story because it was 2 different universes,
and
quote unquote.
And I didn't know Jason sleep. I didn't know.
Man, what? They put my man to sleep and shit. Yeah. Gave the nigga the tranquilizer. Freddie actually the one that did it and shit.
Yeah.
Now
He's sitting in the little stoner dude's body. Let me handle this, bitch. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
That was cool. But
I love Freddie because he's like, I love strategic. I like the strategic.
Yeah, because I like Freddie so much mainly because of his creativity with the way he was killing people, and also the fact that he was hilarious.
He is funny. Yeah.
He's hilarious. Like Robert Englund was the perfect person to play Freddie. You could not have gotten a better person to play Freddie.
Yeah, shout out to Robert Englund.
Just like how I forgot what his name is, but his last name is like I think it's like John Hader or something. Like not even John, but his last name is Hader. But he plays Jason. Mm-hmm. Like in almost all of the films, like he was the one that played Jason. Like really big, bulky guy. He also played in Hatchet.
Yeah.
Like he was the person who played like the main killer in Hatchet. So, he's just a big, bulky dude that just
shout out
scary
to
looking.
him as well because I think he's definitely a big fan of horror movies. Obviously, because he's in one, but also for you to play a role where your face is never seen, you might as well just be like, yeah, I'm just a type of person that likes to have fun doing this job.
Yeah.
Like I just like the idea of me chasing after people and fucking.
With a hockey mask and a jumpsuit
like,
on.
Yeah, you don't have to see me at all. You don't even have to know that I'm famous, but just I love this job. So shout out to him as well.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, because Jason got, how many movies Jason got? Jason got endless movies, right?
Yeah, he do.
Yeah.
But I just enjoy the fact that they were able to incorporate a lot more than just Camp Crystal Lake into his legacy, though. That's one of the things that I liked.
But that's cool though. I like Camp Crystal Lake.
So do I. But a lot of the times you do want a little bit more variety. But they were more creative with the way that they were going to present him.
Yeah.
So that's the stuff that I actually like to see. Same thing with Michael Myers when they did a lot of his movies. Like he wasn't always in Haddonfield.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like when well he always make his way back there, but he wasn't always there.
Right.
So I enjoy having horror movie killers that kind of traverse the land a little bit.
Yeah.
So
and him going through his traumatizing. I know it's like all the killers just went through something. Like,
yeah, and then like Jason got drowned.
Yeah, which is very interesting.
Yeah, I mean he was like a really deformed kid, and then
his mother.
Bruh, that first Jason movie. That ending scene scared the shit out of me, dog. when he came out of the water, bro.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! I was a kid. I watched. I jumped, bro. I was like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
That scared the hell out of me, dog. Like I couldn't even believe it. I was like, "Wait a minute." I had to catch my breath. I was about to have a heart attack.
Yeah, because that's another way Freddy tried to fight him too, right? Because you take him back to the lake, and The way that movie ended, I thought it almost was certain you was gonna get a part 2, but they never, unless they waiting.
I don't know. Maybe they just didn't get the funding for it.
Yeah, they might did. That's a good point.
Because with Hollywood, they got a green light.
But how would you actually bring that back? Like, what ideas are you gonna have when you do bring that back?
Mm.
Yeah, it's
like
really,
certain things is just like it was already tough to do. The idea of like I said, with the whole parallel universe or the different universes, that was clever as fuck.
Yeah.
But like you can't pit too many. Or I'm not gonna say that you can't, but it's gonna be difficult to be pitting other killers together. Like
they have to
with
have
Michael Myers
they have
and
to have
Jason.
Similar. That works because they have similar styles. You have to have similar styles.
It would seem like too much of a stalemate to me.
Think so?
I mean, he did a good job with Alien versus Predator.
I mean, that was a given. We already knew that was going to happen eventually.
Yeah, but you can't lie. That wasn't terrific. That wasn't terrific, though.
No, it was. It was like I said. Different backgrounds and different ways to do things. That's what made it easier to do. But now, if you got like people, like two guys, example, with Jason and Michael, two big dudes walking slow that are used to just stabbing and slashing and all this other stuff that obviously just are very resilient. Like, what are you going to do between them two? How are you going to make it interesting?
Well,
besides two big strong dudes in there.
For me, and I'm nowhere near the writer that anybody else in Hollywood or wherever it is. For me, I would have went the route of probably, since they're both, Michael Myers was in the insane asylum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have it to where they both end up in the same insane asylum. And, that's where they initially meet each other. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then a good chunk of the movie, they could, because you don't even have to go like Michael Myers versus Jason. You can have niggas team up.
Yeah.
And it's so many different avenues.
Like
and then,
I was sitting there the same thing.
And then halfway through the movie, somebody does something that the other one didn't like, and then they turn on each other. You know what I'm saying?
That's technically how the Freddy versus Jason thing turned.
Right.
It was teamed at one point, but then Jason started going off the rails.
Yeah. Yeah. So since he's the non-listening type, then he could be the one that just, you know what I'm saying?
But see, that's where it'll become a little dry to me. And hopefully whoever's out there who's going to actually write this movie, hopefully be like, challenge accepted and fucking impress the fuck out of me. Yeah. But when it comes to them facing off with each other, I think that's where it'll start to get dry. Because it's like, what can you really do? Now, the whole idea of them, like, basically just like, all right, well, I'm not going to deal with you or whatever, that's cool. Because it's like, if they're all in an insane asylum, it's kind of like Outlast. You got two crazy big dudes that just literally don't drop. And you got to survive this whole movie with these twos wandering around. They don't have to be together, but they're somewhere, and you got, like, the asylum is on lockdown. Everybody escaped from their rooms or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then next thing you know, it's like, well, we got to shut this place down. They can't escape. And then just so happens these other two patients that are along with them are two killers, a.k.a. Mike and, Jason. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, all right, cool. It's really a game of survival. That I can get with. Right. But the very moment that you put these two together and they're like, all right, well, now I just don't like you or whatever. Like, how you gonna make it interesting? Because one, you got two supposedly or possibly immortal dudes that are just strong, and it just seems like a boring fight to watch. It's probably going to be like cool, like to see him in the first 2 minutes, but how you gonna keep this fight going?
Well, it's different creative ways that you can keep people invested.
I love to see it.
Yeah. I don't think we're ever going to get that, but just,
Yeah. I know that a lot of new age horror films get kind of dry. Yeah. It's bound to happen because, people like the whole rinse and repeat type thing. They prefer that because it's what sells. Lacking a lot of creative ideas and stuff like that. So just go with what works. You see how many like Avengers movies they put out. You see all the Marvel shit that's coming out regardless. Like superhero is the big thing.
Have to. Well, that's kind of different because it's so many in the comic book. There's so many heroes, and now because we're in a time where you could just put out anything. Like when we were kids, there's no way in the world Ant-Man would have done like big numbers. Who cares about Ant-Man? You know what I'm saying? Like even if you go to the other side with the Justice League and them, like you could literally make a movie about anybody and it's gonna do big numbers. Versus like in the 90s, like outside of what Superman, Batman, Flash, and maybe Green Lantern, and anybody else would have just been dead in the water. There's no way Robin can top the charts with a movie like it does nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, you saw how Robin was an afterthought.
I don't know
Batman.
about Robin, but I think they definitely.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you can make a movie about Robin, and
Fuck that. I wouldn't even go see a Robin movie.
I wouldn't
now,
either.
Nightwing, maybe.
right.
Technically, Nightwing is Robin.
I mean,
but
yeah, I
that's
know,
his-
but you got to make it about Nightwing, not Robin. I mean, unless you gonna go ahead and throw Robin in there, like a little bit of, well, this is how he started, but that's like that 5 minute of fame for Robin. But yeah, you gotta make this movie about Nightwing.
There's no way I'm going to see anything about Robin. No way.
I mean, there's no way I'm going to
Nah,
see any of those movies, but anyway.
And it also depends on what Robin it is, because
I don't give a fuck what Robin it is.
I mean, there's
Nightwing
there's some hardcore Robins out there, but the original Robin is just like, nah, man, turn this nigga into Nightwing, please.
Yeah,
This
good
has
guy,
to be
good guy Robin. Like, the movie starts off, yo, Batman, he off doing this right now. You know what I'm saying? You here by yourself, and you know, like, come on.
either that or you're gonna do the one where he
But
turns into
it'll
Red Hood.
It'll sell. Now, they would have to do something cool. Have to. Like, I really just don't. But yeah, we're just in the age now. It's like, as long as it's a superhero, let's make a movie about it. People gonna want to see it, no matter what.
That's why I appreciate the people who have creative ideas. That's why I like the movie Insidious. I don't know if y'all saw that.
I heard of it. I didn't see it.
Insidious.
I get bits and pieces of it, but I
It's-
jump off of the wagon where they keep trying to make one after another.
Well, all of the movies tie into each other. That's the reason why they made so many. It's only 3 of them, really. I don't know if they made a 4th one. I'm not sure. But even if they did, I'll definitely go see that. But I digress. The Insidious film was originally about a kid. He while he was sleeping, he was astral projecting. And he was traveling into a place called the Further. But there was a person specifically that was following him, which they called the woman. Like, I think it was called the woman in what is it? The woman in black or something like that. Like the black woman or whatever the hell it was. It was a woman in like she like an old timey dress, and she had a black veil, and she was always smiling, and almost right behind him. And they would take pictures of him, and they would see this person inside of the picture. And every time they take a picture of him, he closer and closer and closer. And this was symbolizing that every time he astral projected, this person was getting closer to being a part of him and actually becoming him. So they went to a woman who was medium and also delved into the realm of astral projecting so that they can get their son back, because at that point he was actually somewhat like almost possessed by this person.
You made me realize something too, and I'm surprised that whoever made Resident Evil Village did not get sued.
The video game?
Yeah, because there actually is a antagonist that actually fits all of that.
But that's usually what video games.
Supposedly,
That's usually what games do, though.
Yeah.
It's still Tomb Raider does it too.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider's famous for that. Still in like, yeah.
But
I played a couple of Tomb Raiders with it. They storyline was like scriptures out the Bible. You know, stuff like that. Like that's what video games do. I've accepted that.
Well, first and foremost, how you gonna sue somebody for doing something out of the Bible?
Oh,
Like,
trust me.
who?
Trust me.
You bold enough to be like, nah, man, you can't do that. I own this.
Yeah, one of these.
That's
one of these-
crazy.
One of these high end churches. I don't know where the
Sheesh.
Pope be at. I don't know where his John. I don't know. Somebody could sue you. Somebody could sue you.
That's wild. Where you just felt like you couldn't really own religion.
Ain't he the one that be he got a hold of the 10 Commandments and all that?
I don't know.
I think it's the Pope.
Nigga, I know them niggas harboring a whole bunch of fucking information that they shouldn't have.
Yeah, so I'm quite sure they get the I don't know. But they might be getting a cut of everything. So that might be, might call Mark up. Yo, hey, I'm got this video game coming up. I'm borrow this from you, such and such. We sell like 100 million. I cut you like 10%. Something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But yeah, I do peep video games do that. Call of Duty do it too and shit. Just be stealing like storylines from movies and man.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. They dissect that shit to the T, and because it's like certain portions of like the old Call of Duties was from Saving Private Ryan and shit like that. So
little army or two.
yeah, stuff like that. All yeah, it's inspired by something.
Yeah, like you said, the earlier Jones, like Metal Gear Solid, especially them games that's not not around no more. Like yeah,
Yeah, all that stuff is like it's somewhat copy and pasted.
So this Insidious movie, that's like one of your favorite Jones, or
It's definitely one of my favorite newer movies. Cause I can say that incorporated a lot of the stuff that I wanted in a horror movie, but gave it more of a modern twist because a lot of the stuff that was happening in the movie was only possible because of CGI.
right?
And also clever makeup design and the way that the film was shot. And I feel as though it could have worked in any era.
Right.
It could have been a classic in the 70s. It could have been a classic in the 80s. It could have been. That's how much range it had for me.
Right.
And for first and foremost, I'd like to say kudos to whoever did the cinematography because that was a terrific job. And the way that they incorporated a lot of the writing into the story, well, the way that the writing like incorporated a lot of like, how do I put it? Like, it wasn't jump scares, but it was so much build up to the point where even the smallest thing would pop out and it's just like it scared you. And I love writing like that and also very good directing. And they actually incorporated Tiny Tim into that. Like the song, well, not the SpongeBob song, no.
Don't matter.
The Tiptoe Through the Tulips. It was, I remember Eric was over my house and we was watching it. He was like, I can't even listen to that song the right way anymore because I think about that movie. I was like, bruh, it was perfect. Everything was incorporated well. Even like some of the even some of the like the subtler moments. Perfect.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, like, I actually got a little bit of that wrong. Is like the woman in black, she wasn't following the son, following the father, who was actually a good, like he was someone who could astral project, following the father. But the person who was following the son was like a serious looking demon that was following him and was trying to take over his body. It was almost coming into the real world, and he was like seeing him around. But I ain't gonna give away the ending in case you ever want to watch it.
I definitely won't, but unless you're talking to Mark.
Oh, well, Mark might want to watch it. I ain't gonna jump into that.
I doubt it, but hey, I mean, somebody listening might not see it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I ain't gonna just throw some spoilers out there. I ain't gonna do all that. That ain't my forte. So, all in all, I would say like that story in general is worth it. Insidious was perfect. So, if you're a horror movie buff and you want to really see a good horror movie, start to finish, Insidious 1 through 3. I don't know if they made a fourth. If they did, I gotta see it.
Yeah. As far as like recently, I haven't seen any recent horror movies that just wasn't remakes. Like I think Annabelle is which I love, by the way. But
I saw Annabelle.
Not the remake, but the original. When we was high school, fresh out of high school, those Annabelles, I love those. But
yeah,
I definitely can get with Annabelle too.
Yeah, nice concept.
I think anything where if it's in a place where I can actually go and experience it myself, that's what makes it exciting for me. Because like I'm about I am that guy. I definitely am about the thrill. Like you know, if there's some historics to it and something that's like totally relatable or more believable, then I was like, all right, yeah, you know, I'm interested. Like when it came to Annabelle, supposedly there's the doll where you can go visit the doll and see this, and this and whatever. Mm-hmm. That's a bit of a thrill. Cool. And also how they tied into like, well, the people you know, dealing with the doll were also part of a cult, that's more realistic.
Yeah,
you
very
know, so
realistic.
like I can see that. I'm like, all right, cool. Now you got my attention and everything because this can actually happen.
Right.
Like you can go around the corner and just didn't happen to know that there's people who are part of a cult next door or whatever. You know, it's like that is a thrill. But if you're doing stuff, I think for you, when it came to Insidious and you were more interested in the whole astral projection thing, I think what makes it more exciting and possibly scary for the viewers is if they actually experienced it. A relatable experience. For those who astral project, quote unquote, air quote, if you do that, then you probably enjoy it more, you know, have more of a thrill out of it because it's like, yeah, I astral project. What if this happens to me? Or what if I experience that and see that? You know, it's just like the what ifs. So, you know, it makes you wake up the next day and be like, well, could this possibly happen to me? That's the whole thrill out of horror movies for me. If I can go up and wake up and like, well, if I was to go to this place and could I actually possibly, you know, experience this and got me looking over my shoulder, then there you go. That's a successful horror movie to me.
Okay, I get that.
Otherwise than that, you're just gonna have to make me say, man, that's screwed up and that's disgusting. Then okay, then that could be another successful horror movie to me.
Yeah, I get that. But a reason why I like Insidious, it wasn't just because of the astral projecting thing. Because I didn't see the movie, and when I was on the whole spiritual journey thing. Like this was when I was younger. I had no idea astral projection even existed. So I cared about the idea of the build-ups and the way that they like portrayed a lot of the characters, and everything was well acted and everything seemed so dramatic. So that's what I liked about it. It didn't really hit me until later on that, hey, you can actually do this. So yeah, my liking towards it, when being one of my favorite horror movies in the modern day, came from just the clever writing and the build-ups and all that other stuff. The astral projection thing was just a very cool concept that I had no idea existed. So just a little FYI.
Yeah.
So modern day,
Annabelle. I already said it.
yeah, Annabelle. So
Yeah.
I loved Annabelle. I did. When I saw it, I was like, why the hell are y'all just allowing this doll to just be in the house?
Yeah, a lot of the horror movies is so many. It's just like simple fixes that will ruin the whole movie, right? Like, like you said earlier with Chucky, like if you burn them to like dust, then that's just it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. Like the series is over. Like, but I don't know.
I felt the same way with like Dead Silence. I don't know if you saw that. The movie
is
with
that the ventriloquist?
Yep.
Yeah. You know what? Because that was around high school too. That is what got me into puppets and shit.
Son,
That was a horror movie, but I was like in love with that movie. You talk about a movie that you watched a bunch of times. I watched that a bunch of times.
Ryan Quanten did a good job. He was the main character. He also played in True Blood as Jason, and I liked it. But that man, oh my God, he did a good job with that film.
Yeah.
Because it took all the way up until the end. I'm like, come on, bro, you was quiet the whole movie. I was like, come on, why?
Yeah. I love Dead Silence.
Yo,
Yeah.
first and foremost, why did he bring the doll in the house? That thing looked horrifying. I don't give a damn who sent it to me.
They gave me the whole School Chester some Goosebumps vibes there.
Yeah. Shout out to Goosebumps, by the way.
Yeah,
but
Night of the Living Dummy, yes sir.
yeah.
But
Well, they had plenty. They had plenty.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Haunted Mask, yeah, that one too.
Yeah.
And now if they actually went the more adult, horrific movie way for Goosebumps, I'm super excited for that. This whole comedic thing with Jack Black, I'm a little upset about that.
What's that?
They made Goosebumps. And
Yeah,
they put
the
Jack Black in
comedic
it.
way.
Jack Black.
Yeah.
I never seen him do nothing serious in my life.
But it's of course, because it's not a serious movie. They actually made that a comedic thing. But like, if they really made Goosebumps more serious, like, nah, but that we're gonna make blood and gore for Goosebumps and all, I'm for it.
Yeah, like when they came back with that, "Are you afraid of the dark?"
Yeah, I was about to mention that.
Talk about something that was scary as a kid that still was scary as us now. I said, "Them niggas is like that."
No, bull. Like that remake they did with that was really good, bro.
That shit was fire. Shout out to Nickelodeon, man.
Yeah, that's like one of the few things that I can actually watch on that jump besides like SpongeBob.
Yeah, man, that was. Yeah,
because we was over this though. Like after we got finished doing some podcasts, we was
like,
watching this shit.
Like, yo, this is surprisingly like real good.
Yeah.
Like everything about this is like real good right now. And next thing you know, 3-4 hours go past, nigga still watching the
I
jump.
definitely have to check it out now because coming from some real '90s babies, because we're hard to impress, especially when it comes to things that we used to watch as kids.
And we went into it making up all these excuses why this shit was about to be trash. And and every 5 minutes, niggas is just like, yo, this guy crazy. This guy wild right here.
I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
Son, that shit, it was fire because
fire.
The whole process of getting getting to just the idea of the lighthouse when we first started watching it.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, what the hell is going on? And then they built like I said, like the whole build up thing.
Yeah.
And it was cleverly shot, and it seemed as though
everything with it, the way that the cameraman was shooting it, the way that the kids was acting, the way that the plot, everything was like literally a perfect storm.
Yeah,
like
it was.
That shit was like impressive.
Incredibly impressive. I was not expecting that from a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah,
and
that was like super on par with what it used to be back in the day.
Yeah. And they turned like one simple story into a whole series.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, oh, you're going to get one day, you're going to get these 2 stories and that's it. No, you're going to get this one story. It's going to last for an entire season. It's an hour a piece and 8 episodes.
And it was like 8 episodes. And each episode was just like yeah.
Man,
give me something to watch when I go home.
Yeah.
Now, question for the both of you.
Yeah.
What is the shittiest horror movie you've watched and why?
I don't know, bro. It's like
some trash horror movie.
Yeah, because it's hard to be super disappointed. Because just thinking about it, I don't know like too many horror movies that really just annoyed me and just really just pissed me off to the point where I just didn't ever want to see it again.
I got one off Bucks, one in the chamber right now, and it's self-explanatory. I don't know if this was the exact name, but you're gonna know what movie I'm talking about. I believe its name was Game Over.
I never heard that.
Never saw it.
The one with Frankie Muniz.
Well,
everything that you did, the joint with the video game.
That's not Game Over. That's Stay Alive.
Whatever the fuck it was.
That movie was fire. I don't know what's wrong with you, bro. That movie was fire. I love that movie.
I don't think I can take Frankie Muniz serious.
Son, that movie was fire. No. I like the
the concept was pretty neat.
That shit was
don't
fire.
Get me wrong, but at the same time, it was just like, no. Like,
I don't. No. The concept of that story was there was a random game that they had just started developing. So
like a concept
they
of
ended up
a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, it was a video game from a random company. Nobody knew anything about them, and they were developing a video game that was based around Elizabeth Bathory, who was in history. She was a person who was a plantation owner, and she would take children, preferably young girls. And what she would do was she would torture them and kill them and then bathe in their blood because she felt as though that would keep her younger.
Okay.
So the game was about her trying to destroy her. And what they didn't know that whatever happened to you inside of the game would happen to you outside of it. So it was 2 universes meshing into each other, and eventually the game started playing them instead of them playing the game.
It literally started taking control itself.
Because
it's it was like a lore, kind of like what game can I?
Jumanji.
Yeah, something like that. But what's the other one? Like Leroy Jenkins. You know, when you have teams, you build your own character. They have certain characteristics about you.
World of Warcraft?
Yeah, whichever one to compare to. But it's like basically you creating yourself, and then you also have characteristics that really you don't naturally have in real life or whatever.
Okay.
So it's like, all right, cool. And
Yeah,
then
RPG game.
yeah, so everybody is on a team. You meet each other, interact with each other, and all that, and you go through these experiences. And again, like you said before, was that whatever it is that you dealt with in the game, you are dealing with in real life.
Gotcha.
But of course, everybody was just like, oh, what a coincidence and blah 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 blah. Until I forgot, it was some smart aleck. It was just like, it's the game, and it just got real bad for me. Especially with the whole corny shit with Frankie Muniz, where he was like, "Wait, bitch, I'm not finished yet."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember
like,
that line.
No, he was like, "No, bitch, that's cheating."
Yeah, he's like, "No, bitch, that's cheating. I'm not dead yet." I remember that line. I remember that line vividly. I love that movie, bro. I don't care what the hell you got to say about it. That movie was fire to me.
I don't know anything where the only warning sign you get is a controller vibration.
Yeah, and it makes
Like-
that sound. Like, that sound was perfect. I love that shit.
Like, watch that shit and tell me how you feel about it.
Man-
I got Frankie Muniz. I doubt.
Bro, that movie was fire. It was more than just him in it. It was like it was a group of them. playing the game together.
It's the fact that he's in it.
Bro, that shit was fire.
Yeah.
And then I ain't gonna give away the ending and shit. Like, that movie was fire, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I actually had my nephews watching that shit when they were younger, just so I could get them into horror movies. That's actually both of my nephews' favorite horror movie.
Oh yeah.
Now,
So
I can turn that shit on right now, and they'll be in the living room watching it.
You supposed to introduce them how most people got introduced, man. 13 Ghosts, man.
Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah,
Hell-
13
hell
Ghosts was
no.
one of my favorites.
Hellraiser and all them type of niggas.
Oh
man.
no, I told them, like, we was about to watch like some real horror shows. Like, y'all ain't ready for this. Go in your room.
Pinhead.
Yeah, you ain't ready for this. Hellraiser and them. Oh nah, they ain't ready for that. They ain't ready for that.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
Yeah.
now,
Yeah, like
but
some
they wasn't
good
ready for that
old
back then.
school joints. It's always the old
I love
school, OG movies, man.
I love like
Yeah, we was about to watch Freddy one time. I was like, I don't know about this.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't get that to no child,
You
man.
can't do that to the real Freddy's.
Yeah, that's the fine line right there, like Freddy.
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street. Just like you
Had
ain't
had the
scared to go to
kids.
sleep.
I about to say had the kids don't want to go to sleep and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's specifically targeting children. So you're not like, this isn't based on something for adults. This is like teenagers to adolescent ages. So
Right.
you introduce that to a child, they're petrified
Right.
because they feel it's like, oh, he's targeting me. So I started them off with Idle Hands, the little John with that movie was fire.
That's another good
The
one.
John with
right
Seth
there.
Green. And it was a demonic, like his
Yeah.
hand was possessed by the devil.
Yeah, I was gonna say because you know how they say idle hands is the devil's playground. So
I thought
basically,
that was Idle Mind.
yeah. Well,
But, okay.
how they say it, whichever.
Yeah,
They was like
yeah.
idle hands is like basically they literally said in the movie idle hands is the devil's playground. So it was just like, of course, there was a character who basically did everything with his right hand, I guess, or whatever, because he's right-handed. So he's like,
Okay.
yeah. So of course, the devil ended up taking over the other hand.
Okay.
And so it was just like, all right, cool. Over time, he ended up becoming a killer. He ain't know it because a lot of the stuff was happening while he was asleep.
Okay.
Like parents is dying and all this other stuff. And he was just like, yeah, man. So on the news, it's like, we got this serial killer around here in the neighborhood, blah, blah, blah. And then he found out it was him.
Yeah,
And so he even killed off his homies.
Mm.
But they end up coming back. They came back as zombies because it's a comedic movie. But
Okay. Yeah, see,
You
I'm
know.
not gonna like no shit like that.
yeah, but now it got to a point where it just got serious because now he was like, fuck it, I got an idea. Chopped off his hand. And everybody's like, you fucking idiot. Like, why would you do that? Now we got a murderer's hand that's still moving and doing things out here. So now it's like everybody's trying to survive because it's gotten to their school and
Right.
XYZ. It's for it to be a comedic horror movie, it's really good. Because it's like too much. It's not like corny comedic. It's like, okay, I get it. You're supposed to be a funny horror movie,
Yeah.
but it's not too obscene or absurd or anything. It's like literally, this is fucking funny. Like anybody who also is smokers will also like can smoke a J and be like, yeah, I like this. This is good.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of like them light them lighthearted horrors, like all that. I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream.
Nah,
and all
yeah,
that.
Scream was fire, bro.
those that
Come
were
on, man.
supposed
Those
to
are-
be
those are
scary,
decent.
but at the same time,
They
it was
silly,
just like
they silly as hell. Yeah.
yeah.
Scary movie.
Like nah,
Scary
bro.
movie wasn't meant to be
like you
scary.
failed this. You failed this mission.
Yeah, like I need. It was one old ass John. I was gonna say too. That was when you said the stupid horror movie, The Blob. You remember that?
Oh yeah, The Blob.
It's so stupid. Like,
What about It?
I like it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it
It
more.
was really
I
good.
actually appreciate it more nowadays than I did as a kid.
Man.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So how do you feel about the
I didn't-
characters though?
I couldn't
Like
take it. When I was a kid, I didn't take a clown serious.
I know. I get
Especially
it.
since he wasn't the top clown in the world. Ronald McDonald. So it's like once you factor him in, it's like nah, clowns is cool. Like he can't. You know what I'm saying? But what
I
you
mean,
mean?
it did its job to us, when we were kids, of course. When you watch anything as a kid, it's going to do its job. But then also, it became more, I don't want to say exaggerated, but it reached its heights, especially when that phase when, people was dressing up in clown costumes, going around trying to do,
kill people
then
and
definitely
shit, yeah.
it was just like, okay, all right,
Might
that's
be a
the first thing you think about.
Might be a little too influential. Okay.
Yeah, so the newer ones, I'm not mad at them.
Yeah,
I'm not
good
mad at 'em,
entertainment. It's
you know,
good.
like they did their thing.
They
you
didn't. They ain't fail. He ain't fail.
know?
You
Yeah,
know?
so I'm not gonna say that it was bravo extravagant, but at the same time, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. I like
But- all right. So how do you feel about like the new one though? Like
this. We just said.
no, I'm talking. No. I'm talking about like everything about it, not just the clown. I'm talking about the way that they developed everything, like the murder, like the way they kill people, like the incorporation of the way they ended it differently than what they did in the older version.
Creative and innovative. I give them that part. Like I said, I'm not upset with it. And how they were killing people and everything was pretty good. The whole storyline, it was telling a good story. Of course, it's not just storylines that make the movie, it's also the actors. I feel like the actors, I could have got a little bit more from the actors too. Like I felt it, but it wasn't enough to make me be like, all right, come on, give me a little more. So it was slight disappointments, but like I said, it wasn't a horrible movie. I did enjoy it. There was some stuff where it got me. It was like, all right, cool. When's the next killing gonna happen?
Yeah.
So I wasn't totally out of it. So like I said, I enjoyed it. I give it that for sure.
Yeah, I think the acting was decent. I like as long as they're not horrible acting, and as long as they don't stop incorporating celebrities in these shits, please, because that takes away from so much of the merit. I feel like
Man.
Yeah.
like
I couldn't wait though for the movies to get started. I can't remember if it was the first or second one because memory is a little shot. But I definitely just gonna wait for the killings and that one and whichever one it was, because there was the bullying scene that kind of pissed me off,
Okay.
with the two dudes from the carnival and shit like that. I was like,
Right.
oh yeah, your ass needs to. You definitely
Talking
need
about
to
the one
fucking go.
making fun of the gay dude.
Yeah, that. I was just like, man, what the fuck? I was like, nah, you gotta go. Like, I can't wait for you to see this balloon real quick.
yeah. Okay.
Like, catch this balloon real quick, son. Like, you need to go. 'Cause
And the
you
way they
just
did,
a
the way
dickhead,
they
bro.
killed him though, like that was actually a really good way for them to introduce it into the second film.
Mm.
Yeah. Shout out to It, man. He also got, one of his memes is super popular too.
Yeah, the one where he was doing the little dance.
Yeah, well, that too, but the one where he lower you into the
Oh,
little
the
sewer.
sewer.
Hey, I got pizza down here.
Oh, that with you. You're like, oh, I got macaroni and cheese.
And
Oh
then
man, get it inside the.
Yeah, the second picture be the person sliding down there.
And I was proud to see it in the new one. Of course, the iconic scene where, the little kid in the raincoat.
Oh, you
Forgot
talking
his
about?
Yeah.
Yeah, that iconic scene, dragging across the the rain and everything at night, man. Good job.
Yeah. Shout out.
I enjoyed it back then, and I definitely enjoyed it now. So
Yeah, it's cool. It's
Bruh.
cool.
I think the second one did it much better than the first because they had a lot more to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Because the fact that he just bit the kid's arm off, that right there was like, okay, this is about to be brutal.
Right.
Like, you wasn't expecting that. If you had seen the original, you're like, okay, maybe he's gonna drag him in. No,
Right.
they went the extra mile and just bit his arm off. Then he dragged him in. I was like, okay, this is about to be different. I wasn't expecting this one. And with the first one, you got to see a lot of the racial undertones. You see a lot of like people just being like blatantly racist, like the bully who was making fun of the black kid just because he was new black kid around. Then he cornered him in front of like the store, and it was calling a whole bunch of niggers and all that other stuff. It's like you wanted to see him die,
right?
But you wanted to make sure it was the worst way possible.
At least we wanted to.
Yeah,
and I'm quite sure there's a crowd out there egging them on.
Yeah, Then in the first one, the way he died was so subtle. It was like, But then the second one came along. It's just like, all right, I like the way they killed him off.
Yeah,
I like it because at least he got what he deserved plus more.
right.
So I really respect the fact that they were able to take the second one into a different direction and stay true to the story.
Facts.
Because first and foremost, Stephen King, sir.
Shout out to Stephen.
Yes.
Yes.
You have some iconic stuff out here. Carrie, Rose Red. Like,
Oh, the girl, Carrie?
yeah, Carrie.
Yeah, I love her. Old school one, though.
Yeah, the original.
Yeah.
The one when she was actually, like, somewhat older looking to where it seemed like she was in high school.
Yeah. But
For back then.
But she's just a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that storyline was like, yeah.
It was
That would scare you into not picking on people.
it was scary to not picking on people. It also made people who are like overly religious seem more petrifying.
Yeah.
Because the way she was treating her daughter, because she was just developing, was horrifying. Like, why?
Right.
Like, just because she's developing into a woman, you see her as like lesser than, and she's a spawn of Satan just because she's developing as a woman.
Like she got control over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And man,
Yeah. Pig blood. That's all I remember. Pig blood.
The way he was describing that remind me of another little couple of laughable movies. See No Evil.
I saw that
and
one.
the sequel. I was definitely, as a kid, I was into the first one. The second one, it was just like, man, are you fucking
Yeah, they're
serious?
doing too much with the sequel.
I was like, dog. I was like, this has been like, it was certain things that really was happening too often. And I was like, watch, she's gonna run through yet another fucking wall, because that's literally all he was doing, was just running through walls and capturing people. I was like, watch, yeah. I was like, you closing this door. There's no point of you even closing this door. Like, you locking doors ain't gonna do nothing. He's just gonna bust through this wall, and yeah. So that got tiresome.
And that's the one with what? Kane?
Yeah.
The first one was good though. I'm not gonna lie. The first one, his mother was horrible.
Yeah. And like, I got excited for the second one because of how the first one was. I was like, all right, cool. Let's bring this story a little bit further. But like I said, it just got repetitive. The whole bursting through walls type of shit, and it was just like, all right, man, I'm over it. So
It was decent, but I
do
can't.
better.
It's Kane. I can't really.
Yeah, I mean,
it's good though, but
I like the idea when they was thinking about, he was gonna play Jason, just because the person who played Jason originally, his name actually is Kane. Like Kane, like the person I mentioned before, Kane.
Kane would be good with some shit like that. Like Kane would, like he'd have excelled with Michael Myers or Jason or somebody like that.
They got a wrestler, I forgot what his name was, but he played Michael Myers in the Rob Zombie film. That's the reason why he was so big. He was like 6'11".
Oh, okay. Yeah. So,
He was a former wrestler. He's a wrestler with Kevin Nash and them.
To be honest, there's a lot of wrestlers that's been undercover on doing some movies, horror movies at least.
I would like to see Undertaker actually do a horror film. I think that would be perfect for him.
yeah.
Get him back into some movies, man. But
they got a what do y'all feel about that? Did y'all see that movie Split?
I saw it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Bruh. Oh my God,
Yeah.
the range though, the range,
Yeah.
the range.
Yeah.
Like you saw him, you saw the main characters, and you're just like, okay, this is gonna be bad. We don't know how bad it's going to get.
Mm-hmm.
But then you see him change into like 6 or 7 different people,
Yeah.
and you like, what the
Well,
hell is this?
The dynamic of him, for one, he already proven himself that he can play all different types of characters. And he's like, you know what, cool, giving you a challenge. We need you to bring all the types of personalities that you played in several of the movies, bring that to this one. So I had high hopes for him already as it is.
Facts.
And on top of that, that's a real thing. We talk about mental illnesses here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you bringing that into physical form, especially with the animal, I'm happy about that. So I was definitely so satisfied with this movie. Another person I do want to see do more, when you brought up 13 Ghosts,
Mm-hmm.
the dude who was having all the flashes and all that, I want to see him do more horror movies. Cause
You talking about Matthew Lillard?
I guess whoever, the one who's playing Shaggy,
Yeah,
the
Matthew
Scooby-Doo
Lillard.
movie, yeah, him. Like, I want to see him do more because, like, he played the fuck out of that role.
Yeah.
Like, he was funny and also serious at the same time. I will never forget this fucking shit that he said. He was like, did I say there's a petting zoo downstairs? No, there's ghosts downstairs. That's gonna stick to me for life. Like, this nigga, he did that.
It's probably hard to get like them type of roles though, because there's not an abundance of horror movies. And if they do, there's like
It's like not good scripts.
or it's just the same old, like Michael Myers or It or
Yeah.
people who got their spot solidified.
Because one of the original Scream queens, for real, Danielle Harris, the woman who played as Michael Myers' niece
Mm-hmm.
in the originals, she's played in multiple Hatchet films.
Mm-hmm.
She also played in the I think it's called the Story of Mary Hatchet or Legend of Mary Hatchet, one of those. And she was actually in both of the newer Halloween movies with the Rob Zombie films. Like those, like she played Laurie's best friend.
Right.
Bruh. She, like I said, one of the original Scream queens.
Right.
And the fact is, like, she has never branched off from that. And for good reason. Like, she does a very good job in it. And I remember seeing her in, like, all of the Hatchet films. Every last one. Well, not all of them, but everything after the first one.
Mm-hmm.
All of those, I was like, bruh. What more could you want? It's like everything that you got in Jason.
Right.
But it's just a lot more gory to the point where it was almost funny.
Right.
Because there's one scene where it was in Hatchet 2 where this woman and this dude, like, they going out and they're all in a group because they're all trying to hunt down the main villain.
Mm-hmm.
So his name's Victor Crowley, you know, the very buff, little bulky dude, and like always carries around a hatchet and just very brutal.
Mm-hmm.
So they're out there trying to look for him so they can get this cash reward. Bruh, they go out there, they start fucking in the middle of the swamp. He hitting it from the back and shit. He cuts his head off while he's in the middle of hitting it. He's still going as he's dead. And then she's sitting there loving it, and then eventually he just stops. And she's wondering why. He stops, she looks behind, he's headless. Hey, yo, that's
See, now, yeah, like, that's the type of fucked up shit I like.
that was
Like,
hilarious.
who would think it is? Like, damn, bro, like, that's totally fucked up. And she's scarred for life.
Yeah.
She ended up dying.
Yeah, about to say.
Like,
Her life didn't last longer than 5 seconds
I
after that.
think it would have been worse if she stayed alive. Like, damn, bro. Not only was it that I almost got killed, but I literally have to live with the fact that I was enjoying having sex, getting hit from the back from a headless nigga.
Yeah, like somewhat borderline necrophilia right there.
Like,
Yeah, definitely.
just
The body was still alive though, technically.
that shit right there.
So to speak, yeah.
Like,
Give it
I
that
like
few more minutes.
outrageous shit like that. Like, come on, yeah, bring that.
Yeah, I don't like shit like that.
Bro, that's just it was funny, but I mean, it was another scene in that this is where the gore factor is just wild. He had like a really big chainsaw,
Mm-hmm.
And what he did was like there was like two dudes standing next to each. I think it was matter of fact it was like two dudes. They were standing like one behind the other. He took the big chainsaw and went from underneath them and chainsawed them up. So their balls was like hanging out. I was like, bruh, come on, dog. It hurt as a man, but I'm just sitting there like, bruh.
Yeah, that's the psychological shit that you gotta go with. It's like a lot of successful movies, horror movies anyway, are very psychological. I can't remember the name of this. Fuck, man, my memory is just all over the place. But it's the one movie where it's like a squad of women. I can't remember the name, and hopefully that you know what I'm talking about. And it got my love in it. I don't even know her name, but it's the shorty who played Creed's girlfriend. She's in it, and it's like a squad of women. And there's one scene where it was like this zombie creature bear that literally like took the voice of one of the women that it killed that was part of their squad. And then like it was just a psychological game with them because all you can hear every single time it opened its mouth, you can hear it screaming, "Help me."
Oh, okay.
It sounds like a Wendigo.
Yeah, it was like that, but like literally, and I think that's probably what they was going for because I actually took the time to go behind the scene or check out that behind the scene parts of what they was going for when they created it. But like literally, it was creeping in, and I guess it couldn't see.
Mm-hmm.
But it could hear sounds or reactions or whatever, and it was just like walking through in a living room, and every single time it made the noise, it was like literally her screaming, "Help me," because they could hear her get killed.
Right.
They heard the part of it actually happening, and then it was coming in, replaying it, and they're trying to stay silent and quiet to a point where I think one of them reacted, and it caught it. And then so she's getting bitten, killed, and everything. So it's literally stealing the screams and replaying it back.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so psychological stuff like that, like you can if you continue to give me stuff like that, then I'm good.
Okay. Speaking of stuff like that, how do you feel about The Descent?
I don't think I've seen that.
What?
I mean, I probably have. If you like describe it to me, I could probably be like, all right, yeah, I seen it. But like
these few women, they go on this little trip and they discover this cave. And they traverse into the cave, and for some reason they decide to go even further, even though it seems as though they shouldn't. They go really far down into this cave system that they get to the point where they're starting to see like very odd things happening off in the distance because everything's so dark. It's like really weird things happening off in the distance, and come to find out, is these humanoid things that's actually been following them around that's technically responds to sound and movement. So they're completely blind. So this entire time they have to remain silent and also find a way out. And it's incredibly dark. Like literally, they've come to find out this is an unexplored cave that one of the friends had recommended just so they can go on somewhat of an adventure to see what they would find. First and foremost, shouldn't do that. I don't recommend anybody trying no dumb shit like that. Not to sound racist or nothing, but all of them are white. Besides one that was Asian.
Oh, yeah.
So they're in there, nothing but pickaxes, and that's it. But when I tell you these were some badass women, man, they was going toe to toe with some of these motherfuckers, bro.
shit, you would have to. You want to survive, you gotta fight, man.
Bruh. Like, one of them was in like a pool full of nothing but like blood and bodies and shit, just trying to make sure that it didn't hear her or see her. Like, they're just walking around. She's just in there waiting for it to go away. And I'm just like, bro, I don't know how I'd be in that situation. First and foremost, I wouldn't be able to fit through them small ass crevices, so I wouldn't have been able to make the trip anyway. So, yeah, it'll bring a whole idea of claustrophobia to a new horizon of claustrophobia for people who do suffer from that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't personally, but I don't like tight spaces because of the fact that I'm bigger.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me neither.
Not unless it's a female. It's a difference.
I can't deal. I definitely can't deal with the tight space thing. Like even as a kid, I grew up and I was like, I didn't even like the idea of trying to go through the little tubes and the little Chuck E. Cheese playhouse joints.
Oh, no, I had no problem with those.
I didn't do that.
Nah, I don't know why I randomly just started getting ideas of me getting stuck in one of them joints. I don't know if it actually happened and I lost memory of that or what, but like, I was just like, I can't get with that idea.
No, I never had a problem with that. Them little McDonald's plays, man, I was in them.
I mean, yeah, I was in those. And I guess, you know, when you get bored enough, you're like, man, fuck it, I just want to go have fun. But, like, for some reason, there was a couple instances where I was just like, man, what if I get stuck in one of these joints or something? And I was just not down with that shit.
So you didn't want to get inside, like, one of the little slides from, like, Six Flags or something that goes straight down with the water?
Well, when I started becoming more of an active personality, of course, then, you know, I was in those things because back then I didn't want to do shit when I was a kid. I was too freaked out about everything. I was just shy and just like, no, I don't like roller coasters and this and that. And
I still don't like roller
anything
coasters.
with
I don't
heights.
give a fuck.
But then eventually, you know, just like, you know what, you know, I grew up. So, yeah.
Working at Six Flags kind of ruined roller coasters for me. Seeing the motherfuckers break down all the time and shit.
That
So,
too.
yeah, that kind of.
I mean, shit. I've had those ideas too, but it's just like, well, what else am I gonna do? I ain't gonna sit in the pool all day.
Yeah, I would. And play games. That would be my ideal trip to Six Flags.
That's giving too much money to this motherfucking amusement park that ain't got shit.
Shit, I used
I'll
to fuck
play
with the
some
pool.
games, but I'm not playing games all day.
I fuck with the pool, bro. Like, the wave pool and shit.
Yeah, pool, games.
Well, for one, the pool wasn't going to be open all day, the whole time you would be there. And then secondly, it's just like, I mean, yeah, you know, get tiresome.
I don't give a fuck about roller coasters. I don't really give a damn about Six Flags or any type of amusement park for real. Not unless it's like I'm taking some kids there or something just for their pleasure, not mine. That's the only reason I want to go.
I would give my title of favorite amusement park to Busch Gardens, but only during Halloween, though.
This man.
Yeah.
But,
That was one thing Six Flags was good for too. The Halloween stuff. At least back in the day.
Yeah, I was gonna say it got played out now.
I haven't been to Six Flags since I worked there. So that's the last 3 years of high school.
I ain't been there since I was a teenager, bro. Probably earlier than that.
Yeah.
But whole time, I just made me think about some shit. It was a psychological thriller. I don't know if either one of you have ever seen the movie Penny Dreadful.
No.
But it's a television show called Penny Dreadful, but then there's a movie called that, and it's starring like Rachel Miner. She was actually also played. She played in Supernatural as well. She played as Meg, but that's neither here nor there. But the concept of the story was she was trapped inside of a car. She has anxiety issues.
Okay.
So she has these pills to make sure that her anxiety is kept under control. But they're stuck on this little, this snowy road because they had I think it was either her mother or her doctor was taking her to this little retreat or some shit just so they can help with her anxiety. So they end up running like a flat. The person who's taking her there, she ends up trying to walk off, trying to get some help. She doesn't come back. So she's already on edge. What they didn't really pay attention to on the radio, they was mentioning that there was a psychopath running around the woods of the area that they were in. They weren't paying attention to that. So the entire time that woman was gone, the person who was the psychopath was toying with her. She would make the person would make random sounds, or just not even just pop up. Like she'll be around, but would not allow her to know that she was around. You'll hear like sounds of a tree or something going off in the distance. It'll be like a loud scream somewhere, and then she ended up falling asleep and woke up, and it was all red inside of her door. or inside of the inside of the car. The person who took her there was dead in there with her in the back seat. Like she had no idea. So the person who was the psychopath, she got in the car with her, but did nothing. So this entire time is completely just toying with her mind. And on top of that, she had taken her pills from her. So she's going through the motions like crazy. Whole bunch of anxiety attacks and all of that. I'm not going to tell you what happens at the end, but the concept of that story, that's actually one of my favorite psychological thrillers to date. I have not seen anything better. I mean, I do enjoy like the Saw films and stuff like that, which I will touch on eventually. But personally, top tier psychological thriller to me. Great writing, great acting, great everything, atmosphere, everything. I loved it, even though it was somewhat like a B movie. Well, you know, because Hollywood has its A movies. They got the A list, they got the B list shit. That to me is A list material with a B list rating.
Okay, I've never seen it.
Yeah, I mean, neither have I, but, you know, sounds like a little bit of something that's worth giving a look at.
Hey, it's worth it. I'd highly recommend it to anybody. I remember putting it up on my Facebook page after seeing it. I was like, Penny Dreadful, psychological thriller at its best. And this was like in 2011 or some shit like that. You can probably look it up. I'm pretty sure you'll find it.
Yeah. So, what was you saying about the Saw?
Bruh. Also, another one of my favorites from the newer portion of horror. Well, I don't even know if you can consider that horror. It's more like like I said, psychological thriller, and plus has a lot of blood and gore and shit. It's like the equivalent to like Seven, or what was it? Silence of the Lambs, stuff like that. It's the equivalent to something like that. Whatever you would classify those as, you would classify Saw as that as well. The Saw series was one of those things where I was just like, I have to see every last one of these. I don't care how many they come out with. It was like how people feel about the Fast and Furious series. No matter how many they come out with, I'm going to watch it. That's how I was with Saw. Even though people was like, you know, man, it's not the same.
Yeah, because they're getting out of control now, right? And like Chris Rock and like the new one or some shit like that.
Well, this is actually a spinoff to where it's going to be a completely new killer that's copycatting the old one. So I'm gonna see that eventually, because I did like the idea of where they was going, and people were saying it's pretty good. But I have faith in Chris Rock as an actor. A lot of people just see him as a comedian.
Yeah,
we talked about this before. Like, they want you to stay in your lane. Yeah. So,
but like I said earlier in the podcast, I kind of feel like that takes away Merv from. You know, it kind of go back to, you remember the Michael Myers movies, where it's like he's like this brutal killer, and then once we start getting older, they start having people in there like Kelly Rowland, Busta Rhymes.
I mean, Kelly Rowland was in Freddy vs. Jason though.
But that's what my bad. But that's what I'm saying though. It's not the movie. You watching it, and you don't know who anybody is. It hits different than like. Right. All right, this is Kelly Rowland. Like, yeah, this is Busta.
Your
you know what I'm saying?
Is a little different.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
So like a comedic slap in the face.
Even though I did like Halloween Resurrection though. I did. I liked it.
Right. So, like, me seeing Chris Rock is just like, yeah, the movie can be good, but at the same time, I know it ain't gonna hit because he's in it. He takes away like some of the fear factor.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Kind of like for example, with Resident Evil. You know, even though Resident Evil is not really supposed to be like horrific, it was just like action and stuff like that, interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It took the seriousness away from me when I seen Mike Epps in one of them.
Right, exactly.
Okay, I get that, because that was
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
That was Resident Evil Extinction, because they put Ashanti in that one too.
Yeah.
So it don't hit the.
It didn't hit the same.
Yeah, it doesn't hit the same. Like it's like I get what you were saying
Matter of
about.
fact, no, The first time he put him in was Resident Evil. The second one, I forgot what the second one was called, because he was in the city, and then he was inside the joint with the stars, with the stars team, and then Nemesis killed everybody but him because he wasn't Stars member.
Oh yeah. I thought that was Extinction.
No, that wasn't Extinction. That was, I think, Resident Evil. I forgot what the second one was called.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing though. It's like you just like you seeing like a superstar or a star. Like I get what you were saying as far as like they want you to stay in your lane, but to a degree, it's a reason why they want you to do that. Because it kind of takes away like the realisticness of what, like, if you running around killing people, and then 5 minutes from now, you walk past Kevin Hart.
I don't want to see Kevin Hart.
It's the same thing though. It's the same thing. Like if you see Kevin Hart,
it's gonna be worse for me because I'm just getting tired of seeing Kevin Hart in movies he shouldn't be in.
But you know what you see Kevin Hart though for, right? Right. So it's like if you kill like 10 people and then you walking down the street and you walk past Kevin Hart, then my mind's gonna automatically say, "Oh boy."
Yeah. Well, it all depends on the personality that celebrity kind of carries too. Because I get what you're saying from that, like from the base, from that, but also like some of them can actually pull it off. Yeah. But you just got to see them in more of a serious setting more than anything. Because when they're out there as celebrities, you're getting to see who they are naturally. Right. Now, like, for example, of course, for Rob Zombie, he's not just a writer. I mean, he's an artist. He's in a band. But you see him in more of a crazier or a serious setting. So, but he, too, is a celebrity, but he's actually in, so it's just like it all depends on, like, how you really get to see those people outside of the movie itself. Because certain people can pull it off. Certain music artists can pull it off or whatever. It's just like, if you can act and sell it, then do it.
Yeah. Because I'm going to further allude to what I was mentioning about the whole Kevin Hart thing. Like, when you see Kevin Hart in movies, like, if you see him in a movie that's going to have a serious tone to it, all you're going to get is comedic. Like, that's all that he's really shown throughout every movie he's been in, regardless of what role you put him in.
But that's who they tend to put in these movies. Like he said, Mike Epps. Like, we haven't seen him in a lot of serious roles. Chris Rock, we haven't seen Chris Rock in a lot of serious roles. Like, these are comedians. We've seen, like, Chris Rock has been doing comedy for about 30 years now. Like, Mike Epps has been doing comedy. That's what I'm saying. Like, Ashanti, music. We haven't seen them do nothing, like, super serious on a consistent level, but that's who they're putting in the movies. That's exactly, you just made the point. That's exactly,
But to make my point a little bit more clear, with the Chris Rock situation, he was in serious, like
I'm not, I didn't say that. Not, I'm saying it's like 90% comedy, and then 10% serious. Anybody that sees Chris Rock, the way that your mental glands are set up, you're already tuning yourself to laugh.
Right. You like it's already embedded. Because we're used to that. We're trying to see
exactly.
I mean, as I grew older, it's kind of like I can interchange. So,
that's you.
Me personally.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like you're just being a contrarian right now.
Not necessarily. I agree with what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. The average person that sees a comedian on screen that you've been laughing at for the last 30 years, you're mentally already preparing to laugh. You know what I'm saying?
Now, if, like I said, I'm open for surprises, though.
Yeah, me
like,
too.
If you're like, all right, well, I'm like, damn, bro, like, here it is. But then you see some serious shit, like, oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But what we normally is like what you said earlier with Jack Black. You throw him in the movie, and what was the first thing you said?
Yeah, it was just like it was not gonna, like, it was not going to be serious.
Right.
But on top of that, like, for the tone that he was building for Goosebumps, though, it was already given. It was meant to be.
I didn't even hear about. I'm glad I didn't hear about that.
You didn't hear how? No.
I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, like
I'm down like I was mad when he brought it. I thought it was mine.
The way they did that, it was like very animated. Like, it was on purpose, though. That was their intentions. It was like, okay, slight spooky things or whatever, but it was like for more so of a family movie for the kids.
Who makes that? R.L. Stein dead, right, or something?
Yeah,
I'm about to say he would never allow allow that, right?
Yeah, but it wasn't.
It
wasn't really for the serious thing.
Okay, it ain't him no more. It ain't.
Man.
What the estate doing? What the state? Yeah.
You know, they trying to dumb stuff down for kids nowadays. It's just like, I don't want it.
These niggas need to be just as scared as we were.
What?
They kind of went with, for that one, they went with the whole, the books coming to life type of thing.
Man.
You know, they
back in the day.
So they try to go.
Like, it's in the world.
They try to go to the OG, you know, origin story, but at the same time, it wasn't as serious.
Yeah, none of that shit was funny back then.
Man, what happened to the dog with the glowing eyes?
Man, and then on top of that, like the CGI was just not working for it. Like how they did the Wolfman and all that. It's like, no.
Yeah. Like you said earlier, Michael, the Night of the Living Dummy.
Man, what?
And that joint had like what? 3
Let that
books?
son of a bitch come to life, bro.
That joint had like 3 books, didn't
And
it?
when they showed that, that was very animated. The way they did him, I was just like, no, like this is one of the scariest ones of them all. And then they just,
I got some of them joints around here too. Probably in the closet, still in the boxes. I got like a few of them Goosebumps joints. Damn, Jack Black
came from under the sink. And all that. Like, just a little sponge creature, scared you as a kid. Like, come on, bruh. And then
like,
the little swamp monster
those
jump.
were some good books, bro. Like when I actually decided to read books, that was the books I was reading. I used to read them while I was at school too, and that actually made me not want to go home. I'm like, nah, I'm stay here at school.
And the teachers, and I used to like those because the teachers would let you read them.
Like, as long as you was reading.
If you had like a little sports book, you know, we used to have Sports Illustrated and all that. Nah, I'll put that away. But you had a Goosebump because when they had something about the Phantom or something, right? Phantom of the Opera or something. It was something with a Phantom
of the Auditorium, I think.
Something like that, because I think I got that too and shit. Yeah, something with a Phantom and shit. That John was like that too. Yeah,
it was very creative, man. Shoot, bro.
Shout out to all
and
I
picked up and started reading all Elstein by accident. I mean, I've seen my brother. He used to have Goosebumps books, but I never really cared to pay attention to him. Then I was at school and I just seen it, and I was just like, the covering was looking very interesting and all that.
That's what
I
got
read
me
the title,
at the
and I was just
fair.
like, let me just start reading this. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah. It's just like, you know.
The books was so creatively done because it had like the little the slime and stuff coming from the top,
and it was actually like little ridges in the actual. It wasn't just like it was just looking like slime. Yeah, it actually just felt like yeah.
That one was that was a clever cover to. And that's like the base form for every last one. Didn't matter what color the book was, the slime's going to be that color.
Yeah, because they had green, purple. Yeah, so when this Jack Black thing come out? This is recent? Or
it's more recent.
It was
like 2017 or some shit.
Yeah, it was. You know,
yeah, I'm glad I missed that.
A few years ago. Whatever.
Smack fire to Jack Black, man. Should have turned that road down.
Yeah, bruh.
Yeah.
I mean, I prefer, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, like, when it came to like Goosebumps stuff, it was like upper echelon when it came to like childhood horror stuff.
Yeah.
If you were gonna introduce a child to horror, it was either Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark? You got no in betweens. Because Are You Afraid of the Dark? That's if you had cable. If you didn't, Goosebumps.
Yeah, that Nickelodeon and Goosebumps was on too. Before and after Arthur, so
man, I swear, man, a lot of the stuff that they had, it beat out a lot of the things that's coming out now.
Yeah,
that's just on television. They have TV shows for Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark that's better than a lot of the AAA titles that's coming. Well, not AAA, that's video game, but all the A-list titles that's coming out. For like box office, they're supposed to be box office hits. They're getting outbeat by that in my eyes.
Yeah.
I feel as though they're better. Because a lot of the stuff that they're bringing out now is just very, very, like, it's so minor in the horror genre. It's not staying true to what horror was supposed to be.
Right.
Because if you're going to turn horror into nothing but, oh, you walk down this area, jump scare. You go into there, jump scare. That it's become nothing but jump scare fest. And they do the same thing with like video games where it's nothing but a bunch of jump scares. You're not actually getting into anything. There's no clever writing. It's like they're following a template.
Yeah, it's just literally being in a haunted house without the thrill of actually being there.
Yeah. Facts. And the horror factor for Six Flags haunted houses versus going to a haunted college.
Facts.
That's the difference.
Yeah, because Six Flags, they wanted you to be like, they wanted to be on some fake Goosebumps type. I think that was a Goosebumps book too, right? Something with some haunted, with some mirrors or something.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, it's all coming back to me piece by piece. But yeah, that shit was corny as hell. Even when you was a kid, that shit was corny.
Yeah.
Like people that were scared just wanted to be scared up there. You just in the atmosphere, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, at Six Flags.
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, you were scared?
No. Unfortunately,
you're right.
Right.
I'm just sitting there thinking like
who would do
that,
right?
I'm just sitting there thinking as we're having this conversation. I'm just sitting there thinking as we're having this conversation, like, is it all Six Flags that got shitty, haunted houses, or is it just us because we have the displeasure of having to go to the one at Bowie? So
I think it's just ours.
Yeah, man.
Other Six Flags got
makes me wonder, like, how are the other ones?
Other Six Flags got like other stuff. I've been to the one
other stuff, different rides, but I really think that the energy is different than other Six Flags.
Like I've been to the one in New Jersey plenty of times, obviously, but yeah, they got different rides. Like everything isn't predicated. Like our Six Flags in Maryland is predicated on, superheroes. Like the most popular ones, the Joker's, Jinx, Two-Face, Batman. Like up there, it's just like it's a bunch of different rides. They got an animal safari. You can go see elephants, rhinos.
Yeah,
like
ours, I don't know. It's just ours is just hand me down. After a period of time when I started going to Six Flags, bro, I was just like, bro, fucking bring Adventure World back.
Yeah, that's what it is. We don't have the real Six Flags. We just got one of them.
We just had a replacement.
Yeah, we got one of them, but just call it Six Flags. Water World, Adventure World.
I remember Adventure World. That shit was fire.
Three Flags. That's what they need to call it.
Three Flags?
They ain't got what everybody else got. We halfway there, though.
Bruh, chill the fuck out, bruh.
Yeah.
Chill the fuck
out. I did think when he started, he was about to say, like, he gets scared up there. The way he, like, chimed in, like, I mean, I don't know. Who would get scared?
That's just a place to go to when you're bored, and that's an opportunity for young folks to make money now, and that's it.
Yeah, because they do have like scare actors that are professionals that do that shit legit. Because I don't know if you follow him, Evan.
Man, they need to go down to Denver, man, so they can go ahead and really get that real cheddar because they wasting their time over there at Six Flags for us.
Yeah, go to New Jersey. We got Six Flags in Atlanta.
Man, go to where the real potential is. I wouldn't even tell you to waste your energy.
Got one in Cali for you.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's niggas that do that shit professionally, like the professional scare actors and shit. Like I know one. Like
yeah, we don't have at Six Flags. At our Six Flags?
No, not at our. Yeah, he does it for like specific like haunted houses.
Them niggas are high me to do it if they wanted to. I'd just be up there jumping with a mask on. And
hotel. Like, his name's Evan and shit. I got it. Like we went to school with him, but I don't know if you remember him though, because he was in like when you in your senior year, he was in his ninth. But I ain't meet him until my senior year, and he was in the 10th around that time.
Yeah,
his name's Dennis, but he goes by Evan Webb on Facebook, and I don't know if he does it on Instagram.
Right.
But he does that shit professionally.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe you just got to find the right places for real.
Yeah. Like Mark said, move.
Nah, I don't think it's just like moving to different areas. I think it's just moving to like different states. I just think like we gotta traverse different areas in our immediate area. Like go out to like Bowie or one of them random ass areas that we don't normally see. Like Oakland, Maryland and shit. Like who the fuck knew we had one of those?
Yeah, but it's not also where you go. It's just
this shit
the type of people that it is that's out there. Like for real, it's like we like to have fun, but at the same time, we don't give a fuck about horror out here for real. It's just like it's a diluted thing here. Now, when I say go to California or Denver and all that, they take stuff like that serious. They literally go out shopping for a whole season to prepare for this, and then they're like, yeah, man, we want to big stuff that people got to sign waivers for. I've seen it. I've gone on. It's a YouTube channel. I forgot what the name was, but literally I seen them like go to markets and vendors to buy certain things, and they go over the protocol of how everything is before they open it up to the people and stuff. Like there's states out there that really they're known for this.
Yeah.
Over here, nah, man. It's just like, all right, well, we got it just for the fun of it, and then, it is what it is. We already got your money, so
Yeah, I respect that. Cause I mean, I'm not saying like they're not well known for that. I'm just saying like maybe we might want to have to look into different areas.
We just got to find more people that's more serious. That's take it like the art.
Move.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't care because I don't care about the whole haunted house and all that other shit.
That's what Mark's saying. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I care about horror.
We gotta find
love
people
horror,
who want
but
to
it's
invest
like-
the time and the energy to it. Like, man, man, this got to be just right. Like,
You gotta move. Like it.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they got areas out here like that, but it's not here. Like in this immediate area.
Yeah, Maryland, right?
I don't know about just saying.
I mean, you saying Oakland, Maryland? That's not gonna convince me that.
I mean,
that,
nigga, like
that kind of
you
stuff
making it
is
seem
out
like
there.
they don't exist in other areas in Maryland. It's a possibility.
the people, it's like I said, it's the people.
I don't even think Oakland, Maryland is like a city. I think it's just like a quasi country city, like how Wardolph is.
Okay, still.
A lot of that stuff, like a lot of the far parts of Maryland, like that.
Okay,
Maryland.
country city like
Man,
that. That
so
technically,
Oakland, Maryland is literally like what, like Frederick or something? It sounds like a place with a whole bunch of
think-
trees.
I think it's further than that.
yeah, that's definitely further than that.
Yeah, I don't even know what county that's in.
It's in the Twilight Zone. What you talking about?
I got a couple of friends that live out in like Lexington Park, 2 hours away. It's like it's just
Maryland's big as shit, but a
it
lot of
is
people,
big.
like a lot of people don't pay too much attention to it because they
It's
just
the
look
way-
at it on the map.
It's the way they draw it on the map. I know they lying. I know Maryland way bigger than what it is on the map.
But
and
also
shit.
for everybody who's like from Maryland, or at least the people that we know on this patch of Maryland, like literally are so used to just going to other states from the borders, such as D.C. and Virginia. Like, we're so used to going in a certain different direction
Right.
that we don't even get a chance to explore the other parts.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
we're so used to, like, literally, like, we're going to New Jersey and all that. But first we got to leave and go through D.C. And, like, we're always used to going in one direction.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's a southern Maryland. We live in southern Maryland, but we're like the top of southern Maryland.
To be honest with you, like, if you go explore enough, like, I've discovered, like, within the past year, there's a place called Welcome, Maryland. I did not know that. That's over there by Brandywine. I was like, that sounds far as fuck. They was like, no, it's only 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
We got pumpkin patches, sunflower fields.
I know we got that, but
Yeah. I'm just saying. You know, stuff
Maryland
that-
has
the
land.
real
that-
sticks, though. Like, I want to go to the real sticks. And the only real sticks that I've been to was Frederick County.
See, you the type of nigga that'll be in one of those wrong turn areas,
I am adventurous. What can I say?
and you gonna be dead like one of them niggas too.
I mean,
Like this nigga.
but first of all, like, I've learned a lot of survival instincts going into the areas that I've been going to. So,
Okay,
I
nigga,
mean,
your
I'm not
survival
mad.
instincts ain't gonna prepare you for a Jason.
I mean, if people like that exist, then, we cross that bridge when we get there. But, like, I'm pretty sure that I can handle myself.
There
quite a
this
bit
nigga
so
go
far.
thinking he a fucking superhero again.
Oh no,
Just
I'm not,
like the rest of the
I'm
niggas
not gonna be a
end up dead.
superhero. Trust and believe. I mean, I'm gonna find a way to actually try to avoid the conflict. But if push comes to shove, if I ain't got no choice but to fight, then I'm pretty confident in some of my abilities.
Some. But if you dealing with a supernatural nigga, what are your odds of
What is
surviving?
your odds of coming across a supernatural nigga besides somebody who's on crack?
How do you know that?
Because that's the only supernatural thing I feel like I'm gonna see is somebody who's on drugs.
You don't know that.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Maryland is quite racist though, so some parts have to account for the racism. Besides the little petty stuff that we get here.
Mm-hmm. Frederick is really fucking racist.
Yeah.
Indeed. Oh yeah.
So I don't know what parts. I don't want to really go looking either to see like.
He the type of nigga to go looking and end
No,
up in
I'm
a
not
sundown.
I'm not gonna
town.
go look for the
Except when the
problem, but at the
sundown,
same time, like, I am going to explore. Yeah, I like to go camping and stuff like that. So if I'm gonna have the experience, I'm gonna go get the experience. But am I gonna go look for racists? No.
Yeah.
Am I going to go?
You're
to
not gonna look for them. They gonna find you.
Okay, well, like I said,
I
like,
didn't even know Maryland had waterfalls and shit like that.
Yeah, we got quite a bit.
yeah,
of
it only is like literally you could go somewhere that's about an hour away and find
Yeah,
waterfalls.
that's what it is. I don't know. Yeah.
You might have to do some photo shoots, little videos around that jump.
Mm-hmm.
But just gotta find a little bit of time. You see, got a chance to get our ADHD off and shit. Got a little bit of trailing off moments. Got to do it for every podcast. It seems as though we get at least one of those per podcast.
Before we get up out of here.
Definitely. But this has been another Breaking the Narrative podcast, BTN for short. I'm Tony.
I'm Mark Anthony.
Teddy.
And we up out of here.